Fatherland videos. Tonight we have a folktale read from the Uncle Remus book. Tonight's folktale is coming from the book The Complete Tales of Uncle Remus by Joel Chandler Harris. We're here on page 651. Brer Rabbit and the Gizzard Eater. It seemed like to me that I hear somebody say, no longer than they 4 years till they'd be mighty glad if they could find some for to bet with on, said Uncle Remus, staring hard at the little boy and then suddenly shutting his eyes tight. So that he might keep from laughing at the expression he saw on the child's face. Receiving no immediate response to his remark, the old man opened his eyes again and found the little boy regarding him with a puzzled air. "My mother says it is wrong to bet," said the child after a while. He was quite serious, and it was just this aspect of seriousness that made him a little different from another little boy that had been raised at Uncle Remus' knee. "Mother says that no Christian would want to bet." The old man closed his eyes again, as though trying to remember something. He frowned and smacked his mouth before he spoke. "It look like that I never is to get the taste of the chicken pie what you grandma something me out of for my mouth. I don't know when I been had any chicken pie would stay with me like that chicken pie. But about that betting," he remarked, straightening himself in his chair, "I expect I must have been a dreaming. I know mighty well it couldn't been you. So we'll this up and say it was little dreams and let it go at that. All I know is that they was a little chap lunging round here trying for to learn how to play mumbly pig with one eye and that case of knives what he took from the white folks dinner table. And while he was in the middle of his learning, that old speckled hen run from under the house here and sawed up a mighty cackling. Crazy. She feels someone was going to interrupt the eggs when she been nussing and warming up. She cackle and she cackle. And then she cackle some more for to keep from getting high and alone about that time. This your little boy, what I been telling you about, I expect we'll be a bleezer to call him dreamers. He up with a rock and flung it right at her. And if she'd have been in the way of that rock, he'd have come mighty nigh hot and hitting her. This make the old hen boofer scared and feared and likewise mad. And she hitched a squall onto her cackle and flop her wing. Seeing that, then her hen was mad. This little chap, which his name was Dreamers, he got mad too. And he lowed, I bet you I'll make you hush. And there they had it. The old hen running and squalling, and the little chap zooning rocks at her. I expect the hen would have bet if she had knowed how. And she would have won that bet. Cause the last news I heard from her, she was a running and a squalling. The little boy squirmed uneasily in his chair. He remembered the incident very well, so well that he hardly knew what to say. But after a while, thinking that it was both necessary and polite to say something, he declared that when he made the remark to the hen, he knew she would understand. And that what he said about betting was just a saying. That might be, honey, said Uncle Remus. But don't you fool yourself about that hen knowing how to talk. Crazy. There has been times and places when the creatures can do lots more talking than folks. When you get to be old as what I is, you know that talking ain't got nothing in the round world to do with feathers. And neither with fur. I hear you say you want to bet why the old hen, and if she's still wanting, you want to get a mighty good chance this day if some is mighty nigh dying. I bet you in the third again, a ginger cake, that when you had your dinner, you ain't fed no chicken gizzard in your part of the pie. No, replied the child, I didn't. And when I asked grandmother about it, she said she was going to raise some chickens next year with double gizzards. Did she say that? Did Miss Sally say that? Inquired Uncle Remus, laughing delightedly. Well, sir, that sure do bang my time. How come she to know done some of the creatures got double gizzard? She sure is the outdoingest white old man was ever been born in the world. She done send me the chicken gizzard this so I can tell you about the double gizzards and the wants nots. Double gizzards? They your name flings me way. Back yonder to folks in some old town. Laws of mercy. I wonder what Miss Sally gonna do next. Anybody would guess it ought to be president by God right. Uncle Remus paused and lowered his voice to a confidential tone. She ain't tell you about the time when the alligator was honing for old bro rabbit double gizzards, is she, honey? No, she didn't tell me that. But she laughed. And when I asked her what she was laughing at, she said I found out by the time I was 7 feet tall. You hear that, don't you? Uncle Remus spoke, as though there were a third person in the room. What I been telling you all this time? And then he laughed as though the third person was laughing with them. You may try and you may fly, but you never is to be Miss Sally. Was grandmother talking about a tail, Uncle Remus? It must have been a very funny one, for she laughed until she had to take off her spectacles and wipe them dry, said the little boy. That's her. That's Miss Sally, up and down. And they can't nobody get ahead of her. She know mighty well the time you say something about them double gizzards, my mind would fly right back to the time when the alligator was dribbling in the mouth and old Brer Rabbit was shaking in his shoe. If it's a long story, I'm afraid you haven't time to tell it now, suggested the little boy. The child was so polite that the old nigger stood somewhat in awe of him, and he was afraid, too, that it was ominous of some misfortune. There was something uncanny about it from Uncle Remus' point of view. Bless you, honey. I got as much time as what they is. It all belongs to me and you. Maybe you want to go somewhere else. Maybe you wait 12 some other day for the plated whip that I hear you talking about. No, I'll wait and get the story and the whip together if you are not too tired. The old Negro looked at the little boy from the corner of his eye to see if he was really in earnest. Satisfying himself on that score, he promptly began to play the whip while he unraveled the story. He seemed to be more serious than usual, but one of the peculiarities of Uncle Remus, as many a child had discovered, was that he was not to be judged by any outward aspect. This is the way he began. Ever since I've been pirooting round in these little grounds, it's been the talk of them, would you know that Brer Rabbit was a mighty man at a frolic. I don't expect he show up much in these days, but in the time when the creatures was bossing their own jobs, Brer Rabbit was up for pretty nigh everything that was going up there. They want too much work in it. They couldn't be a dance or a quilting, no halls and no rhyme, but he beat up. He was first to come and last to go. Well, they were one time when he went to fur and stayed too late because it big rain coming during the time when they was playing and dancing. And when Brer Rabbit put out for home, he found that a big freshet come and gone. The dreams and the got to be creeks, and the creeks had got to be rivers, and the rivers, well, I ain't going to tell you what the river was crazy. You think that I done told the truth and goodbye by making big jumps in and going out of his way. Brer Rabbit managed to get as close to home as the creek. But when he get there, the creek was so wide that it make him feel like he been lost so long that his family didn't forget home. Many and many a time had he crossed that creek on a log, but the log done gone, and the water was spread all out over creation. The water was wide, but that wasn't no more than half. It looked like it was the wettest water that Brer Rabbit ever laid eyes on. They was a ferry there for a time like this, but it looked like it was a bigger fresh than what they had counted on. Brer Rabbit, he sat on the bank and he wiped them damp on his faces and the eye. And then he holler for the man with the run that ferry. He holler and he holler. And by and by, he hears some answer him. And he looking a little closer. And there was the man, which his name was Jerry, way up in the top limb of a tree. And he looked still closer. And he see that Jerry had company. Crazy. There was old bruh B. Yeah, bruh B. Sitting at the foot of the tree, waiting for Jerry to come down so he could and him hide it. Uncle Remus paused to see what effect this statement would have on the little boy. The youngster said nothing, but his shrewd smile showed the old man that he was fully appreciated the reason why Jerry was in no hurry to shake hands with Brother Bell. Well, sir, Brer Rabbit took notice that they was on something more than dampness twixt him, and he started to holler again. And he hollered so loud, and he hollered so long. Then when he woke up old Brer Yalligator, now it ain't making no old Brer Yalligator feel good for to be woken up that hour. Crazy. He that has a nice supper and pine nuts and sweet taters, and he was laying out for the link on his mud bed. He lowed to himself, he did. Who would the nation is trying for the holler at the bottom out of the creek? He listened, and then he turned around and listened again. He shot one eye, and he Jerry in the tree. He hollered back, "Can't come, got company." Bro Yalligator, he hear this and he say to himself that if nobody can't come, he can, and he reared to the top with no most fuss than a fiddler bed makes when it let alone. He rise, he did, and his two eyes looked this basically like they two bullets floating on the water. He rise and he walk in one eye, and Bro Rabbit howdy, and most especially, how is your daughter, bruh? Bro Rabbit, he say that he ain't no telling how his daughter is. Crazy. When he left from home, he was a swelling. He said that some man they hit a neighbor chillin' come by and flung rocks at her, and one of them hit her on top of her head right where the car lick is, and he had to run out of the doctor. Bro Yalligator low. You don't tell me, Brer Rabbit, that it's come to this. Your chillin' getting chunked by all your neighbor chillin'? Well. I wish you tell me whereabouts it all going to any at. Where I get the outer wild that got no peace anywhere, keeping at my house in the bed of the creek. Brer Rabbit say, ain't if the truth. And no only the Brer Fox chillin' chunking my chillin' on their cali. But no sooner is I gone out of the doctor than here come the creek a rising. I may be wrong, but I ain't scared to say that it beats anything I ever is to lay eyes on. Over yonder in the fur woods is where my daughter is laying with the headache, and here's he, paw, and it twixt up in the belly in the creek. If I was to try to wade until the wonder the water would be over my head, and if I not that bad, and the pills what the doctor give me would melt in my pocket, and they might poison me. Crazy, the doctor ain't say who they was to be tucked inside. Old Brer Yalligator float on the water like he ain't weighed no more than a desert year pot of stumps. And he tried to drop out till He groaned, he did. And he float backwards and he forward like a tired canoe. He say, Brer Rabbit, if they ever was a rover, you is one. Up you come and off you go. And there ain't no more keeping up with you than if you had wings. If you think you can stay in that one place long enough, I tried to put you across the creek. Brer Rabbit can rub his chin while he wiggle his nose. He low, sees it. Brer Gator, how deep is that water was floating in? Brer Alligator say, sees it, Brer Rabbit, if me and my old woman was to gin ahead, I was to stand on the tip of the tail of my tail, and then still be room enough for you and them chillin' folk. You won't touch bottom. Brer Rabbit, he fell back like he was going to faint. He low, Brer Gator, you don't tell me. You surely don't mean them last words. Why you make me feel like I finna farm home then it was done lost for the good? How the name of goodness you want to put me across this slippery wall? Brer Alligator, he blow a bubble or two out of his nose, and then he say, Caesar, if you can stay still in one place long enough, I'm going to take you across on my back. You need to say thank you. Yet I want to know that I ain't everybody's water ball. Brer Rabbit, he low, Caesar. I can't well believe it, Brer Gator, but somehow I kinda got a notion that you tell mighty lumber. I hear old folks say that you can knock a chip from the back of your head with the tipping of your tail and never have to try. Brer Alligator smack his mouth and say, Caesar, let me tail maybe. Brer Rabbit and them fur reaching. But don't blame me. It was that way when it was gone to me. It's all agented up according to the nature. Brer Rabbit, he studied and he studied. And the more he studied, the worse he like it. But he believes it to go home. Don't want no two way about that. And he low, sees. I expect what you say is summers in the neighborhoods of the truffle. Brer Gator. And more than that, I believe I'll go along with you. If you ride up a little closer, I'll make up my mind so I won't keep you waiting. Brer Alligator, he float by the side of the bank, same as a cork out of the pickle bottle. He ain't do like in a hurry, Casey. He dropped a word or two about in the well, and he say that the water was a mighty cold down there in the slushy. Brer Rabbit took notice that when he smoked one of his smile, he showed up a double row of them tushes that look like they do mighty good work in a sawmill. Brer Rabbit took notice. He going to shake like he have a chill. He low. I feel down. Brer Gator, that I might as well be in the water up to my chin. Brer Alligator ain't say nothing. But he can't hide his tushes. Brer Rabbit look up. He look down. And he look all around. He ain't scarcely know what to do. He low. Brer Gator, He say, the ruffian will heap you to hollow on. Casey, you have to rise strata and can yourself foot on the bottom, can embrace yourself when you think you will longer flow natter. You can have died the same as you was sitting on in the room in your rocking chair. Bro Rabbit shook his head, but he got on, he did, and he ain't no sooner get on than to wish it and mighty hard he was off. But Alligator say, Caesar, you can pant your want to, Bro Rabbit, but I don't know paddling. And then they slipped out their water just like the heat grease. But Rabbit sure was scared. He keep his eye open, and by and by he took note of that. Bruh Alligator won't making for the place where the land at. He will up and say so. Hello, Bruh Gator, if I ain't mighty much mistaken, you ain't heading for the land end. Bruh Alligator say, Caesar, you sure was got mighty good eyes, Bruh Rabbit. I've been waiting for you a long time. And I was kind of waiter. I must know you ain't forget that day the stubble when you say you going to show me an old trouble. Well, you ain't only show it to me, but you made me shake a hand with. You sought the dry guy after and burned me scandalous. That the reason my back so rough, and that the reason my ride so tough. Well, I've been waiting since that time, and now here you is. You burned me till I had to squinch the burning in the bigger quagmire. Bruh Alligator laughed, but he had the laugh all on his side. Casey, that was one of the time when Bruh Rabbit ain't felt like giggling. He saw the shaking and the shivering. By and by, Hilo, Caesar, what you gonna do, Bruh Gator? Bruh Alligator say, Caesar, it look like to me that since you saw that dry guy after you, I've been having symptoms. That what the doctor say. He look at my tongue and he feel my blush and he shake his head. He say that he being his friend, he don't mind telling me that my symptoms is getting more worse than what they been. And if I don't take something, I'll be falling into one of these inclines what make folks fly by a week. Bruh Rabbit, he shook and he shivered. He low, Caesar. What else the doctor say, Bruh Gator? Bruh Alligator keep on slipping along. He say, Caesar, the doctor ain't only look at my tongue. He measured my breath and he hit me on the bosom. Tip, tap, tap. And he say, that ain't about one thing that you call me. I asked him what that is. And he say it is Bruh Rabbit Gizzard. Bruh Alligator slip and slide along and wait for to see what Bruh Rabbit going to say after that. And he Casey got the peculiar, the kind of fizzy what you looking for. All the neighbors say I'm mighty square and I peck I is, but query it not. I long been looking for the gizzard eater. Bruh Alligator ain't say nothing. He just slide to the water and listen to what Bruh Rabbit saying. Bruh Rabbit low, Caesar. The last time I was taken sick, the doctor come in a hurry. And he sawed up with a wild knife and a wink and he sleep did his man get. He say he can tell by the way I was green on, rolling and a tossing and a moaning and a groaning, that they want no physic going to do me no good. I ain't never see no doctor scratch his head like that doctor did. He done like he was stumped. He showed he did. He say he ain't never see nobody with my kind of trouble, and went off and called in one of his bruh doctors, and the two knocked their head together and say my trouble all come for having a double gizzard. When my old man heard that, she flung her apron off her head and fell back in the dread faint a little more, and I had to pay a doctor a bill on her account. When she squalled, some of the children got scared and took to the wood, and they ain't got back when I home at last night. Bruh Alligator, he just was a slipping long to the water. He listened, but he ain't saying nothing. Bruh Rabbit, he low, sees it. It's the fatal truth, all that is, I'm telling you. The doctor, he flew round to the false my old woman and to the that say there ain't no needs to be skittish on account of him having a double gizzard. Crazy. All I had to do was to be kinda careful with the chowings and the gnawings and the comings and the groan. He say that I had to suffer with it till I finished the gizzard eater. I asked him whereabouts he is. And he say, I know him when I see him. And if I fail to know, he'll make himself be known to me. This kinda irritate me. Crazy. When a man a doctor and he got to eat it a coyote anybody, there ain't no needs to the deal and no riddles. But he say, tain't no use for to tell all you know, especially for dinner. Bruh Alligator went to slide long through that water. He listened and he smacked his mouth, but he ain't saying nothing. Bruh Rabbit, he talk on. He low, sees, and they was one thing he told me, plainer than all the rest. He said that when anybody was afflicted with the double gizzard, they doesn't cross their water with it. Crazy, if they anything a double gizzard won't stand, it's the smell of water. Bruh Alligator went slipping long through that water, but he felt like a time done come when he bleezed to his son. He say, Caesar, how come you crossing water now if the doctor tell you that? This make Bruh Rabbit laugh. He low. Maybe I ought to tell you about 'fore I can cross the water that double gizzard got to come out. The doctor done told me that if she ever smell water, there'll be a seach of swelling up that their skin won't hold me. Ain't no longer than the last night before I come to this creek. 'Twas a quick then, whatsoever you may call it now. I took out my double gizzard and hid it in a hickory hollow. And if you gizzard eater, now it's your chance, Casey. If you put it off, you may rue the day. If you enter the notion, I take you right then to show you the stump where I hid it at. If you want to be lonesome body, I'll let you go by yourself and I stay right here. Bruh Alligator, he slip and slide through that water. He say, Caesar, would you say you stay? Bruh Rabbit low, Caesar, I stay right here, Bruh Gator, and anywhere else you may chosen. I don't care much where I stay or what I do, so long as I get rid of that double gizzard what's been terrifying me. You better go by yourself, Casey, bad as the double the gizzard is done me. I got kinda tender some feeling for it. And now if I feel if I was to along with you and you see you grab it, there'd be some booing and hooing done. If you go by yourself, there's rap on that stump and say, if you ever ready, I'm ready. And a little more say, you won't no trouble with her. She hid right in them woods yonder, and the holler hickory stump ain't so mighty far from where the bank that a creek oughta be. Bruh, Gator ain't got much more sense than it'd take for to climb in the fence after somebody done pulled it down. And so he kinda slewed himself around and he stood for the wood. And the same woods where he saw them in the trees, and an old sis owl starts in a whirling and winds by finding her wing. Bruh, alligator swarm and he still till he come close to the land. And when he done that, bruh, rabbit make a big jump and land on the solid ground. He might've got his feet wet, but if he had twas as much, he low season. You poor old gator, if you know the farm is it, you know mighty well that I keep my gizzard. And with that, he was done clean gone.